Alright, it is 9:44 a.m. I had two trades, one with DPLS and another with GGII. The first one was DPLS, and this one instantly did not work out, so I got out of it. And I got in at 9:30, right at the market open, just 15 seconds after the market open at 436, which was right here. And I got in because right here at the market open, it looked like it was going to just do this multi-day breakout, ideally over this 434 level. And it was just going to do it right off the market open and actually start the uptrend and do a morning spike and everything. And then I realized that after I placed my order, the momentum just stopped, and I knew I was not in a good position anymore, so I did cut it immediately the same minute, and I got out at 432. So right here is when I got out, and I was in at 436. I think this was fine for what it was. And then it did downtrend. It held this 425 level. We did have a bidder show up later, but unfortunately, I switched between DPLS and GGII, looking at one and then the other. And what happened was is that it just conveniently was bad timing. I started to look at GGII and changed my order entry to potential setup with GGII, and that led it to eventually start to work past this level break VWAP, and this led to a pretty cool uptrend from the 42.7 level as high as the 44, so that wasn't so bad at all. And that's just unfortunate that I was missing out of this one because I just happened to switch to the other one at the really really exact moment when I should have been back with DPLS. But I did trade GGII, and this one worked out, and this is what I wanted DPLS to do. I wanted DPLS obviously, to do a nice morning spike, but again, just the idea that maybe it just breaks above that 437 level right at the market open, and it was looking like it was going to do it, and then it continues, but it was just essentially, this thing was a dip and rip. So I could have tried this. I could have been long this setup. I was watching it for a dip and rip, but again, I switched over to GGII and started to look at that one at a really, um, really bad luck time. And at 9:40, I did buy 15,000 shares at 91. That was right here. I bought some at 91. Why this was like, it was just the first dip after it had a huge spike. It went from 65 to 99, which is massive. The previous day high was 67. We open right at 64. Once it starts breaking 67, this is the morning spike to trade and be super profitable with. Unfortunately, I was looking at DPLS, so yeah, just bad timing. In the market open, I should have been looking at GGII, and then I should have been looking at DPLS for the dip and rip. And then at least, wow, that was pretty huge. Is that real? I guess that was real, but I mean, 45 to 44 and a half isn't that much. That is a big looking red candle. And again, I did buy it here because we had that dip. This is also, you can call it like a bull flag, but it didn't really develop that much. Just the pole right here and then the flag, and it did uptrend. And then the idea overall, which I'll still be watching, is a break past 99, and then it becomes a regular penny stock, not a sub penny. There's been a lot of sellers at the ask. I did sell in pieces. I sold 5,000 at 96, at 941, which was right here. 941, I sold some right here at 96. And then at 942, I sold some at 98. And it didn't look like we were going to be able to break immediately, above the 99 level and get to a penny. And I did get out of my last position at 95, and that was at 943. So right here is when I got out of my last piece. This one worked out. Again, this would have been nice to have been watching right at the market open. This actually looks like a bull flag right now, so I'll continue to watch this and I'll make an update later. Alright, it is 10:04. I had a scratch trade essentially with GGII, but I want to see if it can actually try to do it later without me. I did buy, and this was because it was looking like a bull flag. You can see the pole, and then you can see it's starting to look like a bull flag. It looked like it was playing out for a little bit. You can see there's a lot of volume here, but then we started having a lot of nasty selling price action, and this is what got me out of the trade ultimately. A very big seller at 97, and I want to see if it can get taken out eventually. But at 10:02, I did buy 15,000 shares at 95, so that was right here at 95 when it looked like it was trying to do it and make an uptrend, and worst case was it breaking below this nice penny level, and I get a sell in the 80s, maybe somewhere around VWAP. Worst case scenario. That's if I'm not able to, be able to sell at a decent price. And of course, worst case scenario, I'm out at like 75 with slippage, and that would be like a $40 risk level. And that's not too far off from reality because it has uptrend a lot in just 2 days. So with that in mind, it was uptrending, it was working. I did sell 5,000 shares at 98, and that was at the tippy top because I just wanted to sell some on the uptrend, and then ideally still have at least half of my position for it to be even more profitable if it can break above the day high, which it didn't do. And once we started having this selling price action, I did have, I believe, yeah, a sell order at 96. I wasn't able to be filled. It didn't look like I was going to catch anything at 96. And then when we had that 2 million share seller show up at 97, that's when I was interested in getting out immediately. That's why my limit was actually so low because I was preparing for it to break under 90, and that was the worst case scenario. It was working, it was uptrending, but then when we had that 2 million share seller, I didn't adjust my limit price. I just let it stay there, and this was essentially like a market order. I got out at 95, so I just made a tiny bit. This was a scratch because I mean I did sell a third at 98, but that wasn't the goal. Of course, the goal was it to break 99 and then try to get above a penny and see if that could be a nice breakout. It's not looking horrible now, but I'm now worried that there are just these big sellers at the ask waiting to show up, and then that would make it look bad. But I'll continue to watch this if it can try to break 1 penny at some point. And DPLS is what I'm talking about with GGII. It could just, massively sell off a lot, and then, it's not too far out of the picture to maybe get a sell here if there's a lot of slippage. Pretty big downtrend here. I'm not really that interested in trading it. I think I'm too late to it. Maybe if it tries to come back near this level, it might not look so bad, but I guess I'll be watching this one too for a dip I set up perhaps. I'll make an update later. Alright, it is 10:33 a.m. and I did have another trade with GGII. It did do the thing I wanted it to do, which was to break the day high of sub penny 99 and get above a penny. And I was a part of it, but this ended up being a scratch. I did buy 15,000 shares at 1 penny, and that was 10.09, which was right here. It looked like it was going to do it. It did do it. It did break above a penny. Unfortunately, it didn't really uptrend that much more. But I did sell 5,000 shares, so a third of my position at 10.10 at 104, which was the very tippy top right here. And that was just me selling into the uptrend a small amount so that if the setup doesn't work, if it downtrends immediately and I have to cut losses, maybe I'm more likely to be break even or not lose as much money if it worked a little bit and then I got out a tiny amount and then it fails, or maybe if it actually continues to work and uptrend over a longer period of time. At least I did sell one piece, which would mean I have less size and then I can be more comfortable holding on to the position longer and ideally be more profitable that way. It did do this really nasty candle. I did sell here and then I sold the rest in the same minute at this sub penny 98 level because as soon as we broke past it, I didn't like that it took 19 million shares for it to break above a penny because I felt like that exhausted a lot of the fuel that could have been used to make it uptrend over a longer period of time. So it was kind of iffy, and then it eventually did uptrend, right? But then when it started the downtrend, I thought this could be just a blip past the breakout level, and then it just sells off. I've seen that happen before, and I did get out. But then once it tried to trade back and forth like this, I just lost interest in it. And we did break above a penny now. I probably don't want to trade this one anymore unless it can do something more convincing or a better pattern. Maybe it can ideally be able to put up higher lows over a longer period of time, and then we can officially break this 104 level with more momentum behind it. That could be a situation, and that's pretty much about it. DPLS did kind of come back a little. I never traded it, but if I were maybe an entry at 39, it didn't really uptrend that much. It got to, 40. I mean, 39 to 40 is like 2.5%. It's not really that much. Of course, the goal would be for it to get to VWAP, but it hasn't really done it. I don't know if I'm gonna trade anything else. I might find a setup, but as of right now, I'm less interested in trading unless something looks super nice. Alright, it is 7:31 p.m. and I'm here to call it off. Overall, I'm going to be up on the day $4.10, and I feel like I could have made much more. I had that one trade here that didn't work out. I cut it immediately, and just by unfortunate timing, I was not in this setup, the dip and rip setup, which worked out right here. I didn't want to trade the panic, although I did come back again here. It's very close to the bottom, and that could have been a setup, but it didn't really move that much, and that's the thing with that one. As for GGII, this one did continue the uptrend. It was later when it broke past 1 cent officially and it actually ran for a longer period of time. Maybe it could have been in something like this. It was later in the day. Perhaps. I think maybe I could have been more aggressive so that I could have been a part of something like this. But I at least tried it back here in this dip under, I guess not under VWAP, but the first dip under after I had the first morning spike right here was a successful trade, and I can continue to get better in that sense. And then it just kind of got all choppy when it first broke by that point right here and went above 1 penny. So I can try to do better in that sense. And I will be watching GGII for a third day if it can try to open and do something similar as it did this morning, or maybe even a morning panic bounce play, although I'd like it to be up and uptrend just one more day at least. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. A lot of things I could have done better, and I'll try to do better. That's it for today.